Bahaito, Marume Hafeli. And as promised, I did tell you guys that we're going to be having a seasoned journalist. Mtho, he's here to unpack everything that's been happening. Because Givone fell already emotionally. Mariketawabusa second half. Mtho, welcome.
Thanks.
Oh, grand. Yeah, Agiri Lunga is not here now. I want to how to recreate. So I'm like, no, we cannot afford to not have Mtho, man. We still need the news.
Of course.
Mtho, before we get into all these other things that are happening in the league, South African football, I said we're at the healthiest we've ever been in a long time.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing results. Surely we need to have honor and give credit to Danny Jordaan.
Walter Steenbok.
Okay, no, all right, yeah. Because now we've qualified for Chen, we've qualified for the under-20, we've qualified for the under. It seems like we are just qualifying for tournaments. Will the budget be there?
Yeah. Look, it's a massive thing, man. I mean, you need to be qualifying for these tournaments because you get your players exposure, to overseas clubs. I mean, playing at the World Cup, scouts are there, they are watching these boys, but also for their growth, professionally, I think it's a massive thing. And the budget will definitely be there.
It has to be made.
The Minister of Sport would make sure the budget is there if anything happens.
It helps having a Minister of Sport who's invested in the sport and who's a fan of the sport.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think you do know, not too long ago he bailed out SAFA when there were financial issues. So I'm sure when he hears that an under-17 team and under-20 team are going to the World Cup, it definitely will come through.
Let's talk about Chen, because a lot of people were looking at it, otherwise it's a tournament that nobody actually wanted. If you look at it, it was treated like a stepchild. Yeah. We don't even know who's going to be coaching it. Yes, Helman at some point it's Murifi.
Yeah.
Has there been any word confidently so where they say they've declared that this is the person that's going to be taking the team forward?
Yeah, look, there's not been any word. I'm sure we'll see. We'll see. But most likely they may let Ntseki continue with the team because there is talk that he could actually be joining SAFA in a different capacity. So he could actually still continue with that. But let me tell you a story. Yves Bissouma, the Malian midfielder, Mamelodi Sundowns scouted him at a Chan tournament a few years ago. Of course, ended up moving to France at the time. So I think I'm just trying to show you the importance of this tournament. I think it must be taken seriously because...
And the problem is that with us as a country, we don't really take it seriously. But however, the players that are playing there, they have this opportunity now to die and showcase themselves. Because some of the players like Musiabi, they're not even playing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Nasreddine Nabi saw Aiden McCarthy playing in Chan, and he was like, oh, okay.
Actually,
let's bring him to the first team. So Neo Mayema had not been playing at Sundowns, of course. He's still not playing, but when he came back from Chan, he was back in the team, So I think it's a very important tournament for the players that actually play there. You've got players like Teres Masheko, who's not been playing a lot of football, coming in and playing Chan. So I think it's important for them. Apelele, Dedo, he's now got the caps to go and play in Scotland. So that's the importance of this tournament.
So I mean, because we tend to just look at what's happening on the field of play, but all the moving pieces that are around it, and that will be helping the players themselves. We really neglect them.
Yeah, we do, and I think going forward, I think it's a tournament that SAFA should take seriously, but maybe also consider. So Hugo Bruce has picked a group of 50 players that he's going to, a pool of 50 players that he's going to be picking from for Bafana. Maybe one could actually look at that team so that he gets players who are not in the maybe top 20 of Hugo Bruce, just to prove themselves. I think it's a good platform for that purpose.
You're mentioning the pool of players that Hugo has, and it being 50, and we see a lot of players coming in. There's a coach that I'm thinking about as soon as you mentioned that, and this coach has played a very important role in making sure that we have new talent in it. And this coach is none other than Jose Riveiro. He leaves the country, unfortunately, but the legacy that he has left, the players that he's brought in, what do you make of that?
Heads off. Listen, there's no foreign coach who's left South Africa the way that Jose Riveiro has left Orlando Pirates. I think he's left he's respected the Orlando Pirates brand. He's taken it seriously. He's taken South African football seriously. I mean, even yesterday he was saying, listen, this league is, he said it's one hell of a league. That's what he said. That's how he put it. So, man, I think, before the football, before the Cocomelon, before the youngsters that he's transitioned into the senior team, which I don't think many coaches would do that. To be able to blood in youngsters from DDC and get them, playing the way that these boys are playing. I think it's just been incredible. But I feel Orlando Pirates failed Jose Riveiro. And the reason I say that is because when you have a coach that's able to bring in youngsters and get them playing, don't stop. Give him the quality. To take
to
it
supplement.
In January, Pirates didn't sign any player. In January, Pirates had to go out and sign at least 3 quality players and just give him that extra lift in terms of, the push. We could be talking a different story in terms of the league race. We could be talking a different story in terms of the Champions League. So I do feel Pirates failed him. They should have beefed up their squad like Sundowns did in January.
Just to bring in perhaps somebody from a different element where somebody could say from Orlando Pirates, say, how do we then buy players for a coach that we know that is leaving? Would that not leave us with a problem of having a high wage bill, quality players that would want game time, but you are not guaranteed game time because this very same coach that has requested them is not there?
The very same coach found a squad that Pirates had assembled. The very same coach did not have, I don't think he had a lot of control in terms of who the club brought in. And I say this because there was a day where we found Ndumiso Mapena at Pirates and we asked him, Coach, we see Ndumiso Mapena is here. He says, I don't know anything. So it tells you he didn't have control. So surely they could still buy. The next coach would find the quality and he would work with the same way that Jose Riveiro worked with.
You're mentioning quality, and quality is what another coach is crying for. This is Nasreddine Nabi. From the day he has arrived, quality has been one word that has been uttered from his mouth. If I were to count the amount of times that he said quality, we would never finish this show. Absolutely. The quality that he asked for, Kaizer coming in, could he say he has gotten him some of the quality that he has requested?
Very interesting, man, because I'm actually working on an article on Nabi's transfer wish list. I'm sitting on 10 players right now.
That he wanted?
That he's badly wanted.
Okay.
At Kaizer
Out of the 10?
Look, so these are players that are not at Chiefs.
Oh, okay. So
players that from the onset.
I'm thinking you're mentioning the 10, and we say from the 10 we'll say 2 he's got.
Look, okay. So when I look through the signings that Chiefs have made, Miguel was definitely his signing.
Sirino, okay. Is Sirino his signing?
No, Sirino wasn't. But he was a welcome signing, I think. And then Tabotele was a signing that he wanted. And then Lilepo, he's always wanted him from his time in Tanzania. Yeah. So those 3 are definitely players that he really, really wanted. What I know about Tashreeq Morris is that he said to management, if this player comes, Tashreeq, he mustn't come alone. He must come with a top striker because he's not going to give us a lot of goals. So I think those are the ones. Yeah. So there is a list that I'm working on. In terms of players, Faisal Salum is one of those players. He's always been clear. He loves Faisal Salum. Top midfielder. For me, he's better than all the midfielders Chiefs right now. He's spoken about, there's a striker from Gambia, Abdoulaye Sase, 21-year-old left-footed, but unfortunately he's since been signed by a German Bundesliga club. And then there is Fawaz Wasadin. He's a player that he loves. He's even asked Stelis to say, but do you think... so there's quite a number of them, and I can think of about 10 of them.
All right. Do look forward to that list that Mtho is going to be giving us. Farpost is the platform that you need to be searching. And I'm sure we'll get to know all these names that are going to be coming out. Unfortunately, that's all we have for this segment. When we come back, I'll be bringing back the Fundis. We'll be discussing what Mthokozisi has been talking about. And yes, do make sure you stay with us.